Okay, now we've got the setup for the titration lab where we're going to determine hardness of water. I've set up the materials as we needed. As you can see, the burette is in the burette clamp attached to the ring stand. I've rinsed the burette twice with deionized water. Now that's an important step. One of your pre-lab questions was, why do we rinse it with deionized water? We not only rinse it with deionized water, but we store it with deionized water inside of it. So you can actually read the volume up on the top here, and I've got a better picture of this posted up for you guys. All right. Now note, the numbering is a little weird here. The numbering goes higher as you go down the tube, because the point of a burette is not to measure how much fluid is in it, but rather how much fluid you've lost from it. Okay? So you would read this as you look at the top here. You would read this as I have, looks to be about 0.2 milliliters is my starting position. And then I'm going to measure how many milliliters I used by the difference between my final number and my initial number. Okay? Now I've also prepped my sample. Now my sample is 25.0 milliliters of tap water, right? So we're trying to look at tap water. Now into this, I've added a couple of things. I first have what we call hardness buffer. Now all hardness buffer is an ammonia buffer that keeps the pH of the material around 10, because the indicator we're using only activates really well at about pH 10. So I've added about a milliliter of hardness buffer into the sample to keep its pH stable. I've also added our indicator, which is the Aerochrome black tea. It's this kind of dark purple powder. So when you add it in with the hardness buffer, you get this nice kind of purpley color to it. Now this is going to turn a bluish color when we get to the appropriate concentration. So all we're going to do now is we're going to put that under there, and we're going to start a steady but not too fast stream of drops going down into it. So we slowly open the valve until we got this kind of series of drops going in, and we're going to constantly swirl it as we do this. Okay? The point is to get this to the area where you get a single drop changes the color. So I'm going to actually slow it down in a minute here. All right. So I don't want it to go too fast. And I'm going to keep swirling it. So the drops are forming. They're just forming slow. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. Oh, wait. Overshot it by about a drop, but it's hard to do when you're doing this. All right? So note, my color changed to this nice bluish color. So then I would take my final reading. So my final reading, if we look closely up here, looks to be 8.3. All right? And that's how we do this. And we'll do 3 trials, and I'll have all the information posted up in the website.